I tell people a large part of the reason why we are here where we are today is because we didn't do anything and stand up starting at Trayvon. We didn't do anything starting with the first Me Too before it became the actual Me Too. We allowed bad behavior to grow. We allowed lawlessness to grow. And when you allow things like evil to grow, right, eventually it becomes like the empire.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
It is interesting because, like you said, these protests is really for your local elected officials to see where that lands, and they have to pay attention to what's going on for the local government. Then, of course, it proceeds from there. Because I'm wondering what laws may change for a peaceful protest when you do it every day. And I always felt like, some change you got to kind of get violent sometimes. We don't advocate violence, but we've seen how the history of America has progressed, and sometimes, you talking about throwing punches. You actually got to hit somebody sometimes.
Well, I think the George Floyd protest really made some good changes. It didn't make the changes that we want in the federal government, but in states like Colorado and other states, there were versions of the George Floyd bill that were passed that will do some good, providing that they haven't been repealed this last legislative cycle. There is good that comes from that, and the appropriate pressure and the right pressure put on individuals to vote certain ways.
Yeah, there you go. We'll keep an eye on that as we probably come in for week 6 and speak. It's maybe something that we definitely want to probably touch on further. What's going on in the world with ICE and all that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Yeah. I was gonna touch on that.
No. I mean, if you got a question.
I was just. Oh no, really not a question, but I guess it's a question. I just want to know, how do you feel about what's going on?
I think it's scary. I think it's scary that you have situations in which you have people who are here legally on visas or here legally visiting who are being detained and thrown in the camps. And then you have a lot of people who are U.S. citizens, right, who are being thrown in to these camps or arrested. That's a problem. That's a problem. That you're so aggressive that you could take a U.S. citizen and somehow process them out of the country and then turn around and do a oops and can't bring them back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right. And this is just a question that, a lot of people look to you on this channel for great advice, and see you as a professional, classic man. I'm going to ask you, and this is a crazy question, but I have to ask because RealLyfe Street Stars. Is this the black man's fight? Should we stay in? Should we jump in this? Because it could easily be done to us. Not this scenario, but something like this. Things like this have been done to us.
This is my own personal opinion.
Yeah, it's just the only person. This is personal.
No, this is real.
Off the record, but
public survey. This is personal.
This is Larry, right? This is Larry.
Right.
I've said it before. At any time that any part of the Constitution is eroded, you run the risk of it eroding something that you need to protect you. I tell people all the time, I believe in the Constitution because the 13th Amendment allows people who look like me to be free.
Right.
It says that you can't own people. It also created prisons, but at the same time, it gave us an opportunity. It's one of the reasons why I wear this bracelet.
Explain the bracelet, please.
So this bracelet, even though it's a horse bit, it has the look and feel of almost like a slave shackle.
Right.
Ones that I've seen by visiting plantations in New Orleans. And it reminds me that I am just one stroke of a pen away from having and wearing something like this, regardless of if I've broken a law or not.
Right.
That there is a document that says that you can't do this to me.
Right.
Does it happen through the jail system? Yes.
Yes.
But we have at least a legal fighting chance, because without it,
There's no chance.
there is no chance. And so I tell people a large part of the reason why we are here where we are today is because we didn't do anything and stand up starting at Trayvon. We didn't do anything starting with the first Me Too before it became the actual Me Too. We allowed bad behavior to grow. We allowed lawlessness to grow. And when you allow things like evil to grow,
Right.
eventually it becomes like the empire,
Mhm.
like Star Wars. In Star Wars, it was like, hey man, these people over here doing some bad things behind closed doors. We need to put a stop to it. The senators, no, we'll worry about it later. They're not threatening. And then all of a sudden, the damn Death Star shows up and everybody was like, where did this come from? Right?
Built on our
Boom. Boom. So I hope I answered without
Right.
clearly answering it.
And then last thing I would say is, since we're talking about race in our skin, right? Do you believe that we're innocent to proven guilty, or are we guilty to proven innocent?
Oh, that's an affirmative hell no. I mean, as soon as we walk into the door, we're guilty of something. Right? Not in everybody's eyes, but
The majority?
the media, film, news, for forever has depicted us as monsters. Even with this Sean Combs case, they're playing into the stereotype that we are sex-crazed maniacs.
Nancy Grace be on DDS.
We sex-crazed maniacs, right? Like we got everybody we see, we just want to jump on. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a situation where when you speak on the blacks and browns uniting for this, I know you saw that sheriff in Florida who said, we will allow protests, but if you throw a rock, that you start kind of letting things know what will be done, and if you punch an officer, attack an officer, you will be shot, graveyard dead. People will come pick up your belongings. To make a threat like that, just being the local sheriff, it was very reminiscent of the 60s, segregation times of yes, you're only allowed to do so much with this protest until, you step out of line. We're letting you know we're going to lynch you. Do you feel like when this becomes a peaceful protest, like what's going on with ICE and what they're trying to do, the one bad apple can ruin the whole bunch if you throw that one rock, you throw that one punch. It kind of ruins the whole situation.
Of course. How many times have all of us in elementary been going to recess, but little Bobby decided to act a fool, and the teacher's like, nah, we're not going outside today.
Everybody inside. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a little Bobby, a little Bobina, somebody out there that is so hell-bent on chaos that they're going to disrupt the natural order of change and peaceful change and do something out of because they want chaos.
There's a joker in every deck. I'm just saying.
Yes, we have talked about we had a chaos conversation last time.
We did.
We had a chaos conversation. So he's just tying into that.
Yeah. I want to make sure that people get you had a prize offering. And I want to reiterate that. I know we posted on our channel. We're going to still, of course, cut this out and post it here too. But can you reiterate the rules of your competition? Because I know some people want their rent paid.
So what we're doing now is we're giving away $500 to the first person who can guess how long it will take the jury to deliberate. So that means that as soon as everyone rests, makes closing arguments, and the jury is handed the jury charge and sent to the back to come back with a verdict, the moment they're sent back, the clock starts. And the first person who gets it right, and you have to give it as soon as they go in that back door and out the courtroom, you have to give the time in days, right? And so if it's
down to the hour, right?
Yeah, down to the hour. And I'm thinking about throwing some caveats. So chime in if you think this is worth it. But I am thinking about enhancing it, enhancing the amount based on a tier. The person who gets it right, but also refers the most followers.
Oh, I like that.
Gets.
What are you going to enhance the amount to? You're thinking about it? Or we'll discuss it later?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay,
I'm thinking about it. They got to chime in.
Okay.
Right? They got to chime in here. They got to go to Tailor-Made Conversations, and they got to go to RealLyfe on IG and TikTok to hear and subscribe so that they can know if it's been enhanced. And for those of you who've already put in your guesses, hey man, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I like the engagement. I like the fact that some of you guys have put in some real good thought on why you selected the time frame that you selected. And I really like that intellectual engagement because that lets me know that everyone out here is just not mindlessly moving around, that they're really thinking about what they're saying and moving around with purpose. So thank you for those of you.
You
guys.
like those longer reasons why?
I just like to hear what people are thinking. I like to, because as a trial attorney, having an idea where society is helps me in my trials. And so I'm leaving here, flying back to New York.
Yes.
And so I'm doing a deposition. And during my deposition, I take into account when I ask questions, what does the jury want to hear? What do they want to know? And so listening, even though this case is totally different, it does give me a taste of where we are as a people or as a country.
And yes, you just came in from New York. You're about to head back to New York. You're in the mix out there. But for those that want to know the rules, tell them again what they need to do to be a part of this, where they need to follow, what exactly they need to do.
RealLyfe Lawyer on Instagram and TikTok, and then Tailor-Made Conversations on YouTube. We have all the rules laid out. And so, like I said before, we may do an enhancement where if you bring some friends to join the competition, and we'll periodically be doing competitions here on RealLyfe every once in a while, especially if I can see a good angle to reach out and to do something fun, right? And keep it engaging. So I might do something like $50 if you can guess the color of my next suit. It's not a competition.
Yeah, but we like those type of things. We like the engagement. Yeah. It's very fun.
Or if I even wear a suit.
Oh yeah, hey, I don't know what that means. Pause. But I'm just messing. No, but yeah, seriously, no. We love the community, and we love that those that reach out and feel like they're part of this community, because it is an ongoing conversation, and we do love it. With that being said, again, week 4 and 5 in the bank. Thank you for coming in. I know we're going to try to do some virtually, but again, we always love to have you in. And today is Father's Day, so we appreciate your time. And happy Father's Day once again. With that being said, we got him in the building. Larry Taylor, the RealLyfe Lawyer. You are a RealLyfe street star. Let go.
Shout out RealLyfe street stars, nigga. Move it. Hey. Shout out RealLyfe street stars, nigga. Move it. Hey.